Good morning, Blues. How you doing? I don't have any funny jokes. I don't have any silly impressions today because the cruelty that we are experiencing is crushing. It's absolutely crushing me. Yesterday, there were massive ice raids in Los Angeles where they rolled through the streets in these massive tanks, again, dressed like they were doing Call of Duty. And then they went to an elementary school during their graduation. Sorry. An elementary school where these children were celebrating an accomplishment. These kids had worked so hard through so much adversity. They had survived every stupid bad person drill. They had learned a second language. They'd made friends and they had flourished and they were celebrating a milestone, one that is so seldom in this day and age. It's so hard to find something worth celebrating today. And these families did that, and they came together to support their children, and they were swarmed with helicopters and dogs and people dressed like they were soldiers, and they took them away. Those poor kids. Their parents had to leave their kids with their teachers because their kids had papers and the parents didn't, and they had to leave them there and hope that somebody would be able to take care of them. Like, how can you see something like that happen and be okay with it? They're babies that were expecting to have a really happy day, and instead they saw 15 people thrown into a van, and they'll probably never return. They're not criminals. These are people just trying to survive. And they're making it their mission to make sure that they don't. It turns out that they were able to bring Kilmar Abrego Garcia back as long as they framed him for something else. This is the second time that they've tried to frame an immigrant for something in the last 2 weeks. Remember, just 2 weeks ago, the dog catcher captured an illegal immigrant, and they fabricated a manifesto that said that he was planning on the Joker. And it was determined very quickly that that was a lie. And now, all of a sudden, Kilmar Abrego Garcia is a human traffic coner. Yeah, right. Like, you know that that's not true. Everybody should know that that's not true because that wouldn't be new information. They would have said that immediately. So all of a sudden, he's a Maryland man who is part of a bad people group in New York who also is being charged in Tennessee with moving people who shouldn't be here around. Yeah, right. He was a father of 2 people who had a blue-collar union job. My husband has a blue-collar union job, and he works a solid 60 hours a week. How would you possibly have time to do all of those things? Oh, he's a superhuman now? No, he is an actual human. People are saying that they're just doing this to distract us from this whole Floridian billionaire thing. It's not true because they put this grand jury indictment together on the 21st. This was their plan all along. This is not reactionary in nature. They planned on framing him for this, not out of duress, not out of any sort of like emotional scramble. This isn't a PR stunt. None of this is a PR stunt. They suck this bad on purpose. Believe it. When somebody shows you who they are, believe them. They are cruel, they are evil, they are liars, they are cheaters, and they are disgusting human beings. And they're making all of us worse. The damage that is done to the people in this nation I don't know if it could possibly be repaired, okay? Like, there are people who will never look at another little kid who looks like my kid, who looks like your kid, and see them as an actual person because these rich people want to get richer. Because they've spent the last 10 years trying to steal your money and make you think that it's us or them or the gays or anybody. They're trying to take all of your shit and blame it on teeny tiny children. And it's working. It's so gross. So I'll leave you guys with what I usually tell people when they're going through a hard time and they're feeling upset, whether it's a loss, any sort of grief, really. I say, if you need to be mad, be mad. If you need to be sad, be sad. If you are overcome by the weight of the injustice of this situation, you're right to feel that way. It's incredibly heavy. But when you're done crying and when you're done screaming, you have to promise yourself you're going to get back up. Promise me that you're going to get back up. We need to stand together against this. You know that he didn't do anything wrong. They would have said that from the beginning. You know that those tiny little babies celebrating their academic achievement did not deserve this, and everybody needs to be saying something. I don't care who you put your tallies in for. You know the difference between right and wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. And we are better than this.